Hi, welcome everybody. Thanks for clicking through, and it is finally here. We are now accepting enrollments in the next Functional Medicine Success Blueprint coaching program with Dr. Dan Kalish. And I created a short video here called Here's What's in the Functional Medicine Success Blueprint coaching program, also known as What This Will Do for You. You know, the Functional Medicine Success Blueprint is an in-depth, intensive training and coaching program that anyone can use to rapidly elevate their practice to the next level and proportionally elevate their income. This is the exact system Dr. Dan Kalish uses day in and day out with his patients to earn on average about $50,000 a month, sometimes more, with an average of 8.3 hours or patient hours per week. You know, I'm going to use the rest of this video to talk about what's next. This is the enrollment of the upcoming session of Functional Medicine Success Blueprint. This is a program that can transform an existing practice into something new and exciting and exceptionally profitable, or can be used as a genesis to speed the success of a brand new practice starting out with functional medicine. So if you're interested in what Dr. Dan Kalish has called the last functional medicine seminar you'll ever take, and want to know how to tie in all the functional medicine seminars and all the clinical knowledge that you've acquired over the years, then you really have to do yourself a favor. Watch this video, check out the information below, and consider the Functional Medicine Success Blueprint Coaching Program. It just might be your ticket to the success you're seeking. So let's take a look at everything assembled for you in the Blueprint Coaching Program. I think the first thing to make clear is that the Functional Medicine Success Blueprint Coaching Program is divided into two distinct processes and sections. It's a training program. So the first part of this section is the 12 weekly 90-minute training sessions. In these sessions, Dr. Kalish is going to train you in the step-by-step process to implement the blueprint into your practice. As I mentioned earlier, my goal in these trainings is to literally hand you his entire functional medicine practice in these 12 weeks. He's going to teach you everything you need to know to be successful with functional medicine right from the start. He's going to teach you the step-by-step scripts he's developed to sell the lab kits and the supplement programs, the coaching skills necessary to get your patients to make lifestyle changes, how to correctly interpret the labs that you're going to get right from the beginning. No messing around with having to call customer support or talking to somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing. He's going to teach you exactly how to do the interpretation, and then how to communicate the value of functional medicine to your patients, and even what your staff needs to do to build your functional medicine structure. This really is a system any practitioner can use quickly and effectively in their clinics. The second part of the program is the 3 months of weekly coaching. Now, these are perhaps the most unique part of this training program. Dr. Kalish gets on a call with you every week, and you get your questions answered. He's going to answer your questions, review your lab results, review your protocols, and this is all done in an hour of group coaching. So in a summary, the Functional Medicine Success Blueprint is an in-depth 3-month coaching program and a 12-module training program with training videos, downloadable audios, dozens of additional downloads in our unique resource center. And all of this is accessible through our unique members-only training site. So here's what you're going to be getting. So that's the first advantage here, is that it's a 12-module training program. It's broken down into 12 distinct modules, each one following on from the previous. So it's a linear traction through the process. In these modules, he's going to walk you through all the steps to successfully integrate and implement the Functional Medicine Blueprint into your practice. It's set up so that you go through one module a week, and each week a new training session will become live and active in your account at our exclusive online training center. So here we go. You get 12 weekly online training sessions. So each of these training sessions are about 90 minutes each, and each session includes 30 minutes of lecture. And then here's the really important piece, the 60 minutes of practical what to do in my practice this week information. One of the things Dr. Kalish is going to do, he's going to be giving you tools that you can put into your practice right away. Not some just conversation about it. Practical tools. And these are the things that he has developed to use in his clinics. He's going to give you questionnaires, forms, handouts, lab interpretation forms, you name it, so you can get this stuff to work for you very, very quickly. 30 minutes of lectures, going to focus on a particular topic of functional medicine. He's going to cover the physiology, the biochemistry, so you can quickly apply that knowledge in the clinical setting once this information is covered. He's going to move on. I'm going to tell a little bit more about the practical sessions here. So the practical sessions are broken down into 3 distinct sessions or sections. The first is, what do I, as the physician, need to learn this week? So he's going to tell you that. What do you need to learn this week that you can apply? What do I need to do with my patients this week? So, and then what does my office staff need to do? So the staff books the appointments, talks to the patients, get the patients in, and you get to do the work. You know, really, Dr. Kalish's goal in this entire program is to literally hand you his entire functional medicine practice. You know, every script Dr. Kalish uses to get new patients to come in. You know, he's going to cover the scripts necessary to sell the lab kits and the supplement programs. He'll even cover the coaching skills required to get people to make lifestyle changes. And he's going to look at what you, the doctor, need to learn and apply. What you need to communicate to the patients about. And even what your staff needs to do on a step-by-step basis to build your functional medicine clinic structure. And the best thing is, you're going to learn the process required for each one of these steps from someone who actually does this every day with real patients. So through the weekly practicum sessions, you're going to cover what you need to do with your patients the coming week, applying this work in a step-by-step fashion, as well as the support you will need from your office staff to implement this new model. So let's now take a look at the details of each of the 12 training modules. So module 1 is an introduction to the system itself. We'll discuss Dr. Kalish's functional medicine clinical model in detail. You're going to learn how to apply the course material in practice right away, with the first practicum being focused on how to explain this work to a new patient so that they get excited about starting what Dr. Kalish calls condition description work. They have a condition, and you give a description about how that symptoms or how that condition relates to stress on the adrenal glands. Very powerful stuff. Sounds very simple, but when you implement it, it makes profound change. And then module 2, we're going to talk about GI health and gluten intolerance. Causes, contributing factors, and its insidious role in destroying the GI tissue. He's going to talk about the relationship between gluten intolerance and adrenal health. Very clear relationship between the two. During the practicum portion of the class, he's going to begin discussing guidelines for what he calls the GI healing diet. He gives you a whole diet to heal the GI. Gives it to you so that you can quickly use that with patients. How to get the patients started on gluten-free diets. How to use questionnaires for gluten, etc. Then in module 3, this starts out in week 3 with stress and adrenal fatigue. Looking at how do the adrenals respond to stress, and how do disruptions such as skipping meals, dieting, too much or too little exercise, and lack of sleep impact the adrenal glands. He's going to explore the role adrenal hormones such as cortisol, DHEA, and pregnenolone play in this process. You're going to learn the importance of the pathways and functions of endocrine feedback loops, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and the hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis. And finally, during the practicum, he's going to discuss the best adrenal test to order and how to determine the 3 stages of adrenal exhaustion. I'm going to have a little aside here. When I was going through this program with Dr. Kalish, I came across this module and I said to myself, hands down, this module, just the one module, is worth the cost of the training program. If you get this module and you download everything that he gives you, you've now surpassed the value that you're going to get from this program. So I'm really excited that you're going to get this one as part of the training program. We move on to rest and recovery, module number 4. This module will cover adrenal fatigue and protocols for recovery. You're going to learn how to restore health, beginning with the importance of healthy and quality sleep, reducing emotional and mental stress, and exercise. And then we'll discuss the proper dietary guidelines for recovery, which includes the basic gluten and dairy-free diet fundamentals. He's going to cover blood sugar control, how to balance meals with proper ratios of carbohydrates and proteins at each meal for optimum blood sugar balance. And this, of course, brings us to module number 5, GI Health Part 2, what he calls the 3-phase healing approach. There'll be a detailed discussion of leaky gut syndrome or intestinal hyperpermeability, including the development and the progression, common food allergens, types of testing, why this is critical in designing customized protocols, and systemic problems associated with food allergies. And then we move on, of course, into the practicum area. He's going to discuss the best lab test to order. We'll also review clinical protocols for a targeted 3-phase healing program to restore GI healing. And that's going to be how to reduce inflammation, how to cleanse the GI tract, and thirdly, how to repair leaky gut and recolonization with healthy bacteria. Module 6, continuing on in some ways with the GI to yeast and bacterial pathogens. First lecture will cover yeast and bacterial pathogens. He'll talk about what they are and how we can get them in our bodies. You're going to learn why testing for pathogens is so critical in designing a treatment protocol, and hear how pathogens relate to adrenal stress and adrenal exhaustion. He's also going to cover triggers for yeast overgrowth, symptoms, sites of infections, treatment options, protocols. He'll cover Helicobacter pylori, causes, symptoms, prevalence, treatment, testing. A lot will be covered in Module 6. Module 7, moving into something I think a lot of practitioners want to learn more about, which is parasites. You know, parasitic infections are the underlying causes of many of your patient's chronic symptoms. In this module, you will learn how parasitic infections are contracted, what are the symptoms of infection, and also treatment options. And then we'll revisit the 3-phase GI healing program. One of the things you'll notice about this program is that Dr. Kalish kind of repeats and brings things back. So it's not just a question of, oh, Module 3, we're done, we're never going to touch that again. No, we may talk about it again in Module 7. We may talk about it in Module 9. So you have this compounding process that really gets that knowledge stuck in your head. Module 8, moving beyond adrenals and GI, now moving into female hormones. In this module, he's going to cover the normal menstrual cycle, the roles of the female hormones, estrogen and progesterone. He'll discuss what factors cause female hormone imbalance in detail, the effects of imbalanced hormones, and focus on safe and effective use of natural progesterone treatments. You're going to learn the symptoms and causes of excesses and deficiencies for estrogen and progesterone, and learn the conditions associated with chronic, unchecked estrogen dominance. Again, this is another one of those modules that I got to and was like, wow, this, again, is probably worth more than what I actually paid for the program. Module 9. Coming back to gluten here, we're now going to be talking about gluten-free diets. This is going to be covered in the in-depth coaching techniques, proven to get patients to change their diets, get off the gluten, regain their health through nutrition. He'll also discuss food addiction, how to work with patients that struggle with diet changes, and he'll also talk about addictions in this particular module. Module 10 is about blood sugar control diets. Again, in the Resource Center, you're going to get a ton of handouts, one of which will be the blood sugar control diets. He's going to go into detail on how to coach patients on techniques needed to stabilize blood sugar, key component of any adrenal hormone program due to cortisol's release as a glucocorticoid. Module 11, stress reduction, sleep and exercise. You know, he's going to cover how to teach patients about stress reduction, proper sleep and exercise, with a focus on lifestyle changes that heal and repair the adrenal glands. And then finally, Module 12 is kind of putting it all together, but he's going to discuss ways that you can market your practice and review the various business systems that are part of any successful functional medicine clinic. Now, if you were just to take these 12 modules and we were to ship them out to you on a CD or a DVD, you would say to yourself, this is far more valuable than what I actually paid for it. But what about those questions that might come up? Well, in addition to the 12 90-minute weekly training sessions, you're going to get advantage number 2, 3 months of weekly coaching sessions. Let's take a look at that. So you're going to get the Kalish weekly coaching sessions. These are live coaching calls. You call in, he calls in, you're live. Designed to answer your individual questions. You might wonder, how do I get started with a specific patient? How do I overcome a roadblock we didn't cover in class? What about guidance on test interpretation? So you've done a test, you don't know quite how to interpret it. Send in the email. How do I interpret this test? Send in the test. Scrub out the name of the patient. He'll put it up on the screen. He'll walk you through. You will learn how to do this stuff over and over and over again until you can look at a adrenal stress panel and go, yeah, cortisol, DHEA, that's a level 2. Cortisol, DHEA, level 3. You will have that facility. Also, finally, protocol development. You know, protocols are a dime a dozen. What Dr. Kalish has done has got working protocols that actually have been demonstrated to be effective. He'll share his protocols with you. You know, Dr. Kalish will be there in person live each week to handle all questions and concerns that come up as you integrate and apply the course material. So that's the two main parts of the program. The training sessions, 12 weeks of training and 3 months of coaching. So in addition to all of that, you're going to get the advantage number 3, which is access to the audio for each and every training and coaching session. So there may be some of you who prefer to learn by listening to lectures rather than by watching. So for all of you auditory learners out there, we have the MP3s of all the videos, all of the coaching sessions available for you. You can download them, put them in MP3 format, put them on your iPod, your MP3 player. And this way, if you decide not to watch the videos, you can still get a clear picture of every step that Dr. Kalish is walking to. So this brings us up to advantage number 4, which is access to the resource library in our exclusive members-only site. Now, the members-only site is the online home for the coaching program. On this site, there's going to be video replays of all 12 sessions. You're going to get the audio downloads of all 12 sessions, plus all of the coaching calls. And then you're going to get access to the online resource library. This is a wealth of information in this library. This is where all of the downloadable resources from Dr. Kalish's clinic is going to be put for you to use in your practice. Accumulation of 18 years of material that he's created that you can put to immediate use in your clinic. Questionnaires, clinic forms, protocols, lab interpretation forms, patient handouts, graphics to use with your patients, you name it, it's in there. Literally a dump of all the necessary material you will need to be immediately successful. And as I mentioned, also the download of all the weekly coaching calls. So at the end of this training, you will have a vast library of downloadable material that you can revisit over and over again. You know, Dr. Kalish's training program provides you with every component necessary to create the functional medicine practice that you've dreamed about. From practice scripts to protocol design, and from business systems and lab interpretations, we will give you every part of Dr. Kalish's existing practice so you can achieve the exact same level of clinical success that Dr. Kalish has in his life. Finally, let me remind you, this is not a bunch of tools or yet more impractical knowledge that are hot today and obsolete tomorrow. This is a system built on utterly dependable, reliable, practical, and time-tested principles. This is the highest quality and most comprehensive functional medicine training and coaching program for creating more money while spending less time, and here's the important piece, helping more and more of your patients get better. Okay, so at this point you've been listening to this and you're going to go, sounds great, Dickon, but how much is this going to cost? Before we get into the cost, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. So first, some housekeeping. Because of the unique in-person nature of this coaching program, we can only take 150 practitioners in each enrollment of the training, and we can only do 2 enrollments a year. So it's 300 practitioners a year. The seats are very limited, the coaching program is exclusive, and the training programs sell out. But given all of this, let's take a quick look at the timing. So the next enrollment starts on the date you see on the screen, and so after that time we cannot take any new enrollments, and you have to wait for the next class, which will likely be in 6 to 7 months. And given that the past students are reporting that they're doing very well financially and clinically, you may not want to wait that long. So that's what the coaching program officially starts. This next slide contains some important details about our enrollment. The time and date you see on the screen is very important. This is when the registration closes, i.e. we don't take any more enrollments after this date, and you will not get access to this video at that point. Remember, we only do 2 enrollments, so the seats are very limited. Coaching program is exclusive. Trainings will sell out. Now, if you're seeing this part of the video, then you're in luck because we're in what we call the early bird phase of our enrollment, and we are giving a discount to encourage you to get in early. So with our early bird registration, you're going to get a discount off of your enrollment. Save about 17% on accounting costs. Prepay at $19.97, not $22.97, which is what it'll be when the early bird registration closes. And if you do this $19.97, you will have no payments, and you'll save yourself about 17%. So let me put this into some perspective. You know, the unique thing about an online training is that you can keep costs down considerably. I'm sure you're aware of all of the different options for getting a decent training nowadays. You know, other functional medicine training programs, if they're done as a live training, and there are some very famous live trainings out there that take 5 to 6 days, you have to fly, you have to stay in a hotel, you have to eat hotel meals, so it's going to be expensive. That's about $3,500 or more. But that's not all. Remember, you're going to have to add in the cost of travel, hotel rooms, meals. You know, I worked out that this costs an additional $2,100. Then you have to add in the income you lost from being away from the office. If you close your office for a week and you don't have a system like Dr. Kalish's, which pays you revenue even when you're not working, you know, you're going to lose money. You can lose money from your office rent, your payroll for your staff, etc. And this brings the cost of a program like this, equivalent program to the Blueprint training, to about $10,000. But thanks to the marvel of modern technology, I can make this cutting-edge coaching training available as a complete training program without requiring you to leave the comfort of your home. Not only that, you get to archive the entire training, so you can go over the material time and time again. Now ask yourself this question: how many on-site training programs allow you to do that? Allow you to walk away with the audio of every presentation? I don't think there are any. In my experience, they actually charge you for the privilege of having the audio for something that you already attended. So you won't have to spend thousands of dollars sitting in a sterile hotel room for 5 days, only to forget much of what you learned come Monday morning. Every training session, every video, every coaching call, every questionnaire, clinic form, lab interpretation form, protocol, patient handout, all will be made available on our exclusive training site. You know, that's why this training program, this coaching program, is unique. It's the coaching element, and unlike anything out there. In fact, I think we can pretty much say that this is the only functional medicine coaching program of its kind that teaches you in this format. 12 weeks of intense training with a coinciding 3 months of hands-on live coaching. But it gets better than that, because, you know, I'm proud to offer you our full 30-day free look money-back guarantee. And here's how this works. You have 30 days from the time that the program starts to see if the Functional Medicine Success Blueprint coaching program is right for you. If you determine that it isn't, and that Dr. Kalish has got nothing of value to offer you, then let us know. We'll gladly refund your money. No hassles, no hard feelings. There's really nothing to lose. As long as you're committed, you simply cannot lose. So if you're interested, click the Add Cart button below. Claim your spot right now. I know it's funny, the language add to cart is actually the opposite of what I want you to do. I don't want to load up your brains with a ton of impractical knowledge, load up your shelves with a ton of lab kits, or your inventory with a load of supplements. You know, Dr. Kalish wants to empower you in the application of knowledge in a clear and reproducible system. But the internet has its own language, so do what's on the screen. Just click the Add to Cart button below. Before you go, I want to talk about a killer bonus here. One of the things that Dr. Kalish talks about in the training program is organic acids testing. So Dr. Jeffrey Moss, we're really thrilled. We've arranged to have his organic acids training, a 12-module training. 31 days after the training program starts, you're going to get full access to this program. It's phenomenal. It covers the organics profile from Metametrics. What is the organics profile? Well, this provides a view into the body's cellular metabolic processes, efficiency of metabolic function, and identifying metabolic blocks or problems with detoxification, gut dysbiosis, oxidative stress that can be treated nutritionally, allowing for individualized tailoring of interventions. So this test is the heart of the third body system, detoxification, tells us about liver detox pathways, nutrient replacement, takes a special place in the overall treatment programs that will be developed. It's an essential component in later parts of many patient programs to determine specific nutrient deficiencies and overall nutrition status. So in summary, this course is going to give you every component necessary to create the functional medicine practice that you've dreamed about. patient scripts, protocol design, business systems, lab interpretations, handouts, questionnaires, forms, clinic forms, you name it, we're going to give it to you. We will give you every part of Dr. Kalish's existing practice so you can achieve the exact same level of clinical success that he has. I want to remind you, this is not a bunch of tools. It's not impractical knowledge that's hot today and obsolete tomorrow. This is a system built on utterly dependable, reliable, practical, and time-tested principles. And if you've heard all this and are still uncertain that there's much to this, then you should probably pass on the class. Go back to what Dr. Kalish and I call the functional medicine bandwagon. But if it is clear to you, if it is obvious to you that Dr. Kalish is for real, he knows his stuff, that this is different than the parade of functional medicine bandwagons that you usually see, that this is a game changer for not only your practice but also your life, then make this small investment. Just click the add to cart button below and get started now.